Alafia. Hello. Hello. Alafia, good people. There's Selena. Alafia. Alafia. Today is Thursday. I am so glad to see you all here. Thank you for coming on. I know that it is, or I see Orisha Child. Welcome, Ekale. Okay. Document Dreams Disruptor. Oh my goodness. Simply Soul Solutions. I love these. Yeah, honey. I wanna tell y'all that April 20th was the exact date of my birthday. And you all know that I celebrate my birthday for a full month. And I am still receiving gifts. So, you've got until the 20th of May. If you still want to send me a gift, I am very, 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 very open all the time to receiving gifts. I am so glad. I don't know how many of you are on the East Coast, making it 10 o'clock at night. If you stayed up late to if you stayed up late so that we could connect, I really, really want to appreciate you for that. It's a little bit after 7 where I am here in Oakland. So I just had dinner. East Coast people, thank you for staying up late enough for us to talk. I want to restate Chicago. Oh, I had some dreams about Chicago a while back. I believe people in Chicago, y'all got a tunnel system under your train system or your public transportation system. And a while back, I had a dream that there were people moving underground in Chicago, and I had to help folks get out of this tunnel. So if you live in Chicago, don't be hiding underground. And know that there may be some people. I don't know what the homeless situation is in Chicago or even the immigrant situation, but be aware that some of your people may be underground. They certainly, mossy roads, they certainly were, oh, that's nice, Vagina Jenkins. Okay, baby. Okay, so, something's going on in Chicago that had been touching me in my dreams, okay? I want to talk to you guys tonight about this course that I have coming up on May 17th. It's all about conjure. It's called Candles, Colors, and Conjure. It is all about conjure, right? We're going to talk about how we use candles and colors and herbs and stuff like that to conjure up a better situation than what we are facing now. Now, I need to say straight out, y'all. If you've been watching the news, okay, you know that this country is about to go to hell in a handbasket. We are in danger of losing the Civil Rights Act. There are things going on that will, there are things going on that may impact your food, your water, your medicine, your education, At 77 years old, when I look at what's happening, I see three things. I see an attempt to bring back Jim Crow. Okay? I see an attempt to undo a lot of the progress that we have made over the years. Okay? And I am very, very concerned about the way certain people are poised for World War III. Okay? I want to talk to those of us who must harness power to protect ourselves and our families, to preserve our health, to make sure that we have the resources to live our lives. Okay? And in the past, we have ancestors who endured slavery and triumphed. We have ancestors who were immigrants and triumphed, who worked as migrants and triumphed, who faced epidemics and triumphed, who revolted against oppression and they triumphed. Okay? A lot of this was done through what's called conjure. We're going to discuss what conjure is, what conjure does, and how we do it. Okay? How we do it. Now, here's the late breaking news. One of the things that I'm learning at my age is that we have to really take a good look at language and how people rename things to sort of make you think that it's something new. Mother's Day is coming up, right? Mother's Day is coming up. And I want to point something out to you. Your grandma was a conjure woman. Maybe nobody called her that. But you know how Big Mama used to make this soup. And when she made that soup, she was singing the whole time. She is stirring that pot. And when she served up that soup, everybody who was sick got well. We used to say she put her foot in it. It tastes so good. She put her foot in it. Big Mama was praying the whole time that she was stirring that pot. That's conjure. That is conjure. Perhaps you come from a family where there were people in your church who did laying on of hands. Laying on of hands. Today we call that Reiki. Today we call that body work. Today we call that somatic healing. Your mama did that. Okay? Conjure. She conjured up the healing energy in her hands. And here is what's really important for us to know at this time. Conjure has been used to lift the foot of oppression off of our necks. Conjure has been used to awaken the courage we need to fight back. Conjure is used to give us strength, and it is amazing. It is really, really amazing. I want you to remember the conjure is available to everybody. I want you to recognize that even though there are forces that want you to feel powerless, my favorite analogy is instant coffee. You know how if you got a little jar of that instant coffee crystal, you look at it and it looks kind of dead and it's kind of shiny, but it just looks like some dead powder, right? But if you pour some hot water on it and those crystals break up, then that aroma of coffee and the burst of flavor, I maintain that we all have what I call freeze-dried soul. Freeze-dried soul. The potential for courageous acts, the potential for great strength, the potential for unusual courage, the ability to touch somebody and help them heal, the ability to make a soup that heals everybody, is freeze-dried soul sitting in you. So if you think, oh, I don't know nothing, blah, 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 blah. No. In this class, we will talk about the use of a number of things that you can, and a lot of it is in jambalaya. When you enroll in the class and you get the outline, there are pages in chapter 9 where there's lots of instruction. Okay, I want you to come to the class with your copy of jambalaya, because we're going to go through the general information and then we want to get very, very specific. That's why I'm limiting this class to 24 people, right? We're going to be there several hours. And in addition to talking about the general information, I am saying to people, okay, this is your opportunity to say, well, can you teach me a candle ritual that is going to improve my health? Can you teach me a candle ritual that is going to help me protect my family or bring in more prosperity? We want to take a look at what people actually need right now and design the rituals that we can talk about in this class, but that you can take home and do with your family. You can do it by yourself, but there's always more power if you can get your community involved in it, right? We're not going to do the typical Western school number where somebody stands in front of a classroom and just, runs a bunch of information at you and they don't care whether you get it or not. That's just a grade. If you take a test and you pass it, then that's a grade. We are returning to the wisdom circle. Okay. We are returning to the place where we share very, very much. Very, very much. It is a time when we need community building. Like I say, you can do conjure by yourself if you are a lone practitioner. But it is always my hope that when people take a class, when people do any of the things on Patreon, the money pouring, the burden burning, when you take the courses that that we're going to be doing in the Jambalaya School, we are building community. And I want to take a minute to say, when you go to my website and you click on the Jambalaya School, you will see, the dream that we are bringing to fruition now, where people will be able to not only take classes online, but be able to come to the Bay Area and have classes live with other people with an exchange of energy. And the Jambalaya School is envisioned as part of a global network so that we will have a sister school in the Caribbean, a sister school in Africa, a sister school in the islands, etc. Okay, so that is Dire. How you doing, baby? And so we need to build community. We need to get together and do the work to keep the negative forces off of us, okay? To keep the negative forces off of us. To use that power, pour that hot water conjure on that, oh yeah, from the farm, baby. Yeah, Dire, bless her heart, she's gonna bring me some stuff from the farm. Dire tested my soil, right? And and we're gonna be planting. For a number of years, me and Flora and Sister Sabande, who runs the Sacred Waters retreat, and we do the cook, cure, and conjure class. For a number of years, we had a farm, an herb farm in Costa Rica that had all these African and Caribbean herbs on it, okay? And we fell on hard times, but we are going to get land in Costa Rica again, so that we can have a source of African herbs, okay? Right now, border crossings are tenuous, all right? But, if you're going somewhere, make sure somebody know where you at, and that they also have copies of all of your papers, right? But we know stealth. We know how to move through the swamp and the bush. We know how to move about in safety. And these are the kind of things that we're going to talk about. Try to remember the people who escaped from the plantation in the middle of the night. Red okra. In the middle of the night. Think about the people who had to be very, very strategic about how they did things, right? We are in a similar time now. We must conjure up new manifestations of our lives. We've got to shift the balance of power. Because right now, all the money is in the hands of a 1%. And, your livelihood may be in jeopardy. So, we're going to concentrate. We're going to concentrate on the things we need to conjure up in order to not only survive, thrive, and had, sinners. All right. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. All right. Now, one of my goddaughters has promised that she's going to take me to go see Sinners on the big screen. Okay. But I've been looking at the little pieces that are, the critiques of it that are on YouTube. And I am so glad that this brother, who's already proven himself with Black Panther, okay, I am so glad that he is reviving so many aspects of our culture. I've heard different interpretations from different people about who the monsters are. Okay, I have looked at that wonderful YouTube video that explains all the dances. Now, y'all know I was hot stuff 40 years and 100 pounds ago when I danced with Catherine Dunham. And the dances in this movie are historical. Okay? The dances are historical. The juke joint. Those of you who saw Color Purple probably remember the juke joint in Color Purple. Juke joints still exist, y'all. Right? And this movie is the kind of thing that I prayed for. In my lifetime, I can say Black Panther, Daughters of the Dust, For Colored Girls, certain pieces are the kinds of things that I used to pray for. I am so glad to see that we can put our own interpretations of things on the big screen and have the community support it. Because there was a time when the kinds of things that we're seeing on the big screen now could only be whispered. Or you've never heard of Daughters of the Dust? Oh, baby, this is important. See if you can find it. Google Daughters of the Dust by Julie Dash. Julie Dash. It came out in the late 80s or early 90s. And it is very, very, very relevant right now because it tells the story of people in Gullah Geechee who historically escaped to Canada. It's very interesting because when you look at the history of the quest for freedom, a lot of times our people went to Canada or Mexico. Okay? And both of those borders are being watched closely now. But you're going to love Daughters of the Dust. Without spoiling it, I will tell you what is amazing about Daughters of the Dust. It is told from the point of view of a baby in the womb of one of the women. What is amazing about Daughters of the Dust is based on real research of what happened during that period of time. And I remember that there was a movie critic here in San Francisco. I wish I still had a copy of it, who wrote a review in the San Francisco Chronicle saying two things. This fool said the Gullah Islands didn't exist. Okay? So I had to tell him he needed a geography lesson. And he made the statement that the only reason that Julie Dash made this film was so that we could see a bunch of beautiful black women dressed in white. And I said, oh, so you admit they were beautiful. You admit they were beautiful, and you admit that the white being dressed in white sets it off. You know, it has been a long time. It's been difficult for people to know about the beauty that we have in our culture. Those of you who come to the class, the May 17th Candles, Colors, and Conjure class, we're going to take a look at how conjure has kept our culture alive, how conjure has been used to ensure our freedom. Now, those of you who are registering for the class, you're going to bring your copy of Jambalaya, and I want you to bring a glass of water and choose a candle that represents you already. We're going to talk about all the different kinds, the sizes and shapes. But right now, I just want you to think, am I a yellow candle, or am I a red one, or do I want to bring a purple one, and just do it according to how you are feeling at the time? I also want you to think about a real life situation that you would like to use some ritual to change it. You know, do I need to have more concentration? Do I need to move some bothersome people out of my way? Okay, do I need a way to bring my community together? Most importantly, we're going to talk about how to defend ourselves against the onslaught that is coming our way. We are going to conjure up using candles and colors and herbs and stuff like that. We are going to conjure up how to survive, how to thrive. Okay, I see Cook, Curing, and Conjure is on here, and this fall we will have that class again. Okay, and cook up some stuff. Like I said earlier, your grandma cooked up that soup that healed everybody. Okay? Yes. All of my classes at this point are on Zoom. But as we secure the building that we want for the school, we are going to have what they call hybrid classes, where they're meeting in real time and they're also available online. Now, you know, the fundraiser is going to help me get all this technical stuff that I need to be able to do big screen, live stream, recording, all kinds of stuff. But I would love to see you all May 17, okay? I want you to have an amazing summer, knowing that come fall, we're going to be doing the ancestor work. We're going to be doing Cook, Cure, and Conjure. You know, we're going to really buckle down. We're going to buckle down. Oh, I really don't know which color would represent me. How would I know a color to choose? If you have jambalaya, go look in chapter 9 and you'll see the candlework color chart, right? But I can tell you off the top, if a white candle is always safe, because you can easily project onto it what you are feeling, okay? But you know, if you feel like a red candle, you're asking for some energy, baby. If you feel like a green candle, you asking for some resources, right? If you feel like a brown candle, you're asking for stability. If you asking for a purple candle, you are looking for a particular kind of power that makes you feel like royalty. If you are attracted to a blue candle, this is where we're asking for harmony. Okay? We often burn a blue candle to bring peace and harmony in the house. The yellow candle you're trying to attract, and the orange one is very, very good if you're studying and need to concentrate. Okay? So I want you to think about, and more than think, feel about what you would like to accomplish and what you would like to share among the people in this class. I want to tell you I'm very pleased to say that my classes have been instrumental in community building, so I talk to somebody and they say, oh, yeah, I ain't got nobody to do ritual with. I said, well, baby, where are you? Oh, I'm in Mississippi. Okay, then hook up with so-and-so. I'm in Florida, hook up with so-and-so. I'm in Chicago, hook up with so-and-so. You see? Okay? And we need to be able to do that. We need to be able to connect, whether it is on Zoom or whenever possible, in person. In the course, I have it set up so that there is a big section where there are big sections where questions and answers and discussions can occur, right? Yeah, it's important for me to know what your questions are for us to, I know, our spiritual activism. We're definitely going to get back. Oh, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. Those of you who are in Southern California know that June 17 through the 21st, I'm going to be in Southern California. And maybe I'll be able to put this up on my website. I'm going to be involved in a production, a thing in Southern California called Repossessions, okay? And what it is it's a film and an art exhibit and performances where things like slave chains and other tools and symbols of slavery have been donated to black artists who have repossessed them, okay? Turned them into art, turned them into ways to teach the history. See, this is spiritual activism, y'all. This is artistic and spiritual activism. And this is what I am after in my classes. Y'all know they're trying to shut down the Smithsonian. Y'all know they trying to kill the funding for art, right? Okay? Welcome. We gonna do what we do. We gonna teach our history. We are going to conjure up the conditions to get around all of that. Okay? Honestly, y'all, not too long ago, I was told that as a storyteller, people are being discouraged from telling historical stories, and that some schools who sponsor storytellers who talk about history ain't gonna get no funding, right? These people don't know me. I'll gather a bunch of people in the park and we'll do our storytelling. You ain't got to know. We will not be stopped. We will not be stopped. And so that is one of the questions that you can bring to the class on, to the class right on. Bring your concerns to that class on May 17th so that we can talk about how to address it. I'm thinking now about a couple in Southern California who survived the California fires, right? Who survived the California fires. And they were talking about how do we bring the community together, the people who have survived, and help them. And we designed a ritual which they're going to be implementing. Okay? So I want you to think about what you need to address. And they're not going to get away with erasing our history. They tried that shit before and it don't work. Because we are history living. We are walking history. The thing we have to be careful about is every time grassroots people create something, there are those who desacralize it, right? They co-opt it, they monetize it, and rename it. Beast of the Southern Wild, right? That's another one. When we get the schoolhouse down, one of the things that I'm proposing is a once a month movie gathering and discussion. There are so many films that we ought to be seeing together and talking about. Okay? It's really amazing. Listen, I am so glad to see you all, but I have got to. I'm in Arizona. Oh, let me get back to you on that, because I do have somebody in my elay who knows the history of early black folks in Arizona. This is the thing, people. We have been misled into thinking that nobody knew anybody else until there was the slave trade. That is the biggest global lie that ever existed, okay? And now information is beginning to come out that shows that all kinds of people were interacting with others before this major colonization period, okay? So these are the kind of things that we'll be exploring in the class on May 17th, and these are the kind of subjects that we will be teaching in the Jambalaya School of Ancient Mysteries and Sacred Arts Center. Please spread the word, especially among your community members. Let them know that this is going to be conducted like an old wisdom circle, that we are going to do direct problem solving, talking about how to conjure. And before I go, one of the things I really want you to do, I want you to think about Big Mama. Think about some of the stuff that your grandma does, right? Think about some of the stuff that your mama does. And ask yourself, what's she doing? Why is she doing that? What happens when she does that? See, this is my whole childhood, eavesdropping on my elders. Because back then they wouldn't tell you nothing. You couldn't ask no questions, right? But the wisdom of generations is sitting in her lap. Okay, I will be I will be back on Instagram next Thursday, 2 days before the class starts. Yeah. So between now and then, y'all can pull together some stories or let me know what some of your concerns are. And I think on my web page, there's a place where you can click, and get and get connected to the Eventbrite link to enroll in the class. Okay? All right, y'all. Now I got to remember, what do I have to touch the X, I think, to come out of Saturday's the 17th, right? May 17th? Yeah. All right, y'all. Now, I think in order to get off of this, I have to hit the X. We'll see what happens. Try to behave yourselves. There we go.